between everything that I've been seeing happening to Christians on social media. I was so excited when I saw Don Lemon's actually getting arrested. No, you need to go to jail the way any other black man would had he been arrested for trespassing on private property. I don't give a damn about your status. He needs to go to jail. He walked into a church, a Christian church. He would never pull that crap at a mosque.
America first day I come on, take my hand. Asia in the driver's seat, we're moving this land. From truth over lies to the work we supply, we'll use the tools they feel. Look 'em straight in the eye, America.
Finally, Don Lemon is getting arrested. Thank you, Pam Bondi, for finally doing your damn job, because a whole bunch of people were getting away with a whole bunch of bullshit. And Christians are being targeted by the federal government and everybody else. So finally, it is nice to see that our federal government is holding somebody accountable for being assholes and committing a crime against the Christian church. About damn time. Excuse me, Lord. All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Asia, of the America First AI podcast, and this is the America First AI Network YouTube channel. Now, as I said to all of you, I will be launching my platform soon, my own streaming platform, and best believe this podcast will be airing solely on that platform, and I'll be posting clips of this podcast here on YouTube. I'm not even trying to get caught up in this algorithm throttling nonsense, but I won't completely abandon this channel. We've got something planned, and I want to try something a little bit new with the channel, just a little bit, so that way YouTube doesn't continue to throttle. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, I need to talk about Don Lemon. Now, today's not the day where I'm going to pull clips up. I'm not going to pull up a slide deck. I'm just going to shoot from the hip. There is no rundown yet again. No, I'm not. I won't say I'm sick anymore, but long day, long week. Didn't feel like preparing fully for this episode because I just wanted to react after seeing it. Everybody's talking about Don Lemon getting arrested, and I'm kind of glad. And personally, I want this man to face real jail time. I don't want them to pull no just Juicy Smollett crap. I want him to face prison time, and not in some elite prison either. I want him to do the same amount of time any normal black man would have had he been arrested for trespassing, criminally trespassing. On top of that, I would chalk this up to a hate crime. Everybody else, homos, Jews, Muslims, Asians, all of them get so-called hate crimes. But let some shit happen to a Christian. It's not a hate crime. This is criminal trespassing of a church. It needs to be a hate crime because that would be fair. That is equal protection under the law and equal punishment under the law. And he should face whatever the max is for criminal trespassing and the extra charge of hate crime. Just because we can do that. And Pam Bondi better do that. Now, before I jump in and give my full reaction to what's happened with Don Lemon, I want to talk about the comments that I've been seeing coming from very smart people, but still liberal. And before I can even say what that is, you guys know I'm building a business, right? So I'm building up my streaming platform and I leverage AI tools and I'm trying to figure out what's the best business model, right? Like what would be the best thing that I can provide to an audience that I want to build here on this platform. And so on my YouTube channel, I like to watch different, I don't want to say gurus because they don't come off guru-y and they don't promise outcomes either. They just really show you methods and methodology and how to think when you're approaching the so-called solo business, especially now that we're headed to for a time of post-labor economy and how the future is for the owners. And I was already in that mindset coming into the new year simply because I could just see what was happening with AI and automation. Obviously, we all know what happened with Amazon, and we're hearing the same thing happening with Pinterest and Target. Like all these people are getting fired, a lot of because of what AI can do. Automation with robotics at Amazon. I think they're closing their fresh stores. Anyways, that's me going down the rabbit hole. Let's avoid that. Let's go back to one of the people that I actually enjoyed watching because I was learning a lot as far as not necessarily selling per se, but how to leverage AI in developing products, on how to best prompt engineer when it comes to doing things like vibe coding systems and platforms and software, not just a regular website where it's a billboard, but actual software, a website with a function. And the person that I'm referring to, whose comments were completely shocking, her name is Arlen Hamilton. Now, for those of you who are interested in building business and things of that nature, she's probably someone you've probably come across at one point or another. I'm not going to say that all of you watch her. Honestly, if a lot of us who are huge Nick Fuentes fans, you probably aren't going to take advice from a black woman. And personally, I think she's gay. I think she's a lesbian. So can't actually say a lot of you would actually watch her. Personally, I do think you can get some nuggets of information and some wisdom as it pertains to some things from specific people. They don't always have to agree with us faith-wise, politically, but they accomplished some things in life and they can share some of that insight with you. And that's really why I was watching her. But imagine my surprise when earlier today, when I'm scrolling my phone on my lunch break and I'm looking for something to watch on YouTube or something and looking for just some more insight on how to bring my platform to you guys and something else that I'm trying to create for all of you, where Arlen Hamilton, who is a person who provides business insights, talking about Don Lemon. And there was this huge thumbnail of her wearing her purple sweater. It's the same purple sweater that she wears all the time. She's a woman who creates your first 5K club. Again, she provides great insight and she's a great coach for business. But now I'm at the point where it's like, don't even recommend her channel. Because for a woman who tries not to talk about politics, because again, politics is not her niche. She does not talk about that. And I'm not even the person that says niche down. So if you do get into podcasting or creating content, don't listen to every guru that says niche down, niche down, niche down, niche down. Don't listen to that crap. Obviously, I don't. I talk about AI. I talk about politics. I talk about policy. I talk about culture. I talk about faith. Whatever my interest, I talk about on this channel. So don't listen to that crap. But if you're not someone who's ever done it, then stay out of it. Don't offer insight on that. Because now you done put off how many people because of your opinion. And part of it, I think, is because, one, she's a fat, lesbian, black, liberal woman. Now, when I say that, I know you guys know what her opinion was. She was against Don Lemon being arrested. And that's because she is a lesbian. She's not a Christian. And I know people are going to say, well, Asia, you can be gay and be a Christian. You're a fake one. Ask me. It is your cross to bear. It is. But here you are, Arlen, offering an opinion on something that no one even asked you for. And of course, I went to the comment section. And everyone, and all these black women are in the comment section now. And they're all in agreement with her. This thumbnail said, Don Lemon gets arrested. What this means for black business. What? Are you kidding me? What do you mean? What does this mean? What this means for black business? How is it that a radical, raging homo and his consorts storm a church, criminally trespassing? What does that criminal behavior have to do with any black person building a business? On top of that, these were only activists, and there were mostly white people in that group of protesters. She had some black, but not that many. Black people weren't going to storm a Christian church for Somalians who are being deported. You know why? Because they want their asses gone. They're not protesting ICE. This is the one law enforcement branch that black people have no beef with. But all of a sudden, black business is going to be under siege. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? So, of course, do not recommend that channel to me. That's where I'm at right now with Arlen Hamilton. And the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, it's simply because black Americans, even though they fail in the morality of the faith, are majority Christian. You know how many black people who reacted to Don Lemon storming that church? They were pissed with him. How dare you? You would never pull that crap in a black church. Majority of these black reactions to him storming the church were. That's what their reactions were. They weren't in favor of what he did. In fact, they said, don't come to a black church with that mess. Even a pastor, a black pastor for another big church, said, Don Lemon, don't bring that crap here. Said, women, get the children and you out of the way. We're throwing elbows. We're not about to just let them storm into God's house and disrespect it, throwing around expletives. I swear, I think they were Christian apologists or something, because there's no way that at the Baptist church of which that I grew up, we would have allowed that to happen. The men would have been like, get the children out. We're throwing hands. And considering how many mass shootings we have seen amongst Christians in America, Christian children in school, in Catholic schools, at churches, did he really think it was a good idea to storm it? And what does this lesbian say? This impacts black business. Why? Because he's known, because he has a platform, because he is, seen. Are you serious? This woman is smart. This was a woman who, she was homeless. She said she was sleeping in the streets. She said she was sleeping on the floor at airports. She picked herself up by the bootstraps, and now she's a millionaire, and she's talking to, sharks from Shark Tank, and she's got a whole bunch of investments, owns a bunch of businesses. She coaches. She has a good relationship with Sam Altman. Now, I know that's not necessarily a check in the positive box, but it's the fact that she has a connection with him business-wise. All these people who want to throw money into her business and give her capital. I believe this guy's name is Gary V. He's like the king of marketing today. And she's had him on her show. She's done coaching events with him just recently in New York. I loved watching her because she provided great insights on how to build your YouTube channel, depending on what it is that you wanted to do as far as being a digital entrepreneur. You are a smart woman. Make this make sense then. This math ain't math, then this is illogical. What the hell does this have to do with black business? You know what she says? She says, so we have to start thinking about how well known we're going to be and how much media we're going to put out. Because if we're well known and we say something, it could impact our business. And we have to start choosing, is our money more worth it? I'm paraphrasing at this point. Is our revenue more important than us speaking out for what's right? I'm like, are you kidding me? And that bothered me so much because I am a Christian. And the fact that Christians are being forced to choose between earning on social media or choosing Jesus Christ in the digital space already. Christians are being spied on by the ADL and a dozen other Jewish organizations, as we've been told by the CEO of the ADL. TikTok is shadow banning and throttling and demonetizing Christians as we speak. They're building dossiers and sending it to the FBI. We are being victimized in our home nation. And yet, what should we be concerned about as black business owners? That if we say something, it's going to hurt our business. What? Finally, Christians are getting justice. At least the appearance of justice. And we're to it. Who is your master? Because a person can only have one. Is it the God of black or is it Jesus Christ? Because I would argue that the majority of black people, despite the fact that they may be on the failing side of the moral side of the faith, their master is Jesus Christ. And so when they saw the homo storm the church, they were against him. Arlen, I don't understand how someone's so freaking smart and can literally pull herself up by the bootstraps and make that judgment call. I don't get it. That totally blew mine. Because it's like Christians are already forced to make this decision. And it's like she completely didn't even acknowledge how excited and how thrilled millions of Americans would be feeling, how billions of Christians around the world would be feeling to see him get arrested for doing this. If you ask me, this is a hate crime. Everything else is a hate crime. I call a homo the F word. It could be considered a hate crime depending on if it's a radical leftist in office. I call a Christian Zionist you know, the satanic inversion of the Christian faith, I could be considered a criminal because of these ridiculous speech laws that they're coming out with in certain states and declaring anti-Zionism a part of anti-Semitism, and therefore you say it, you could be criminal. And you know what? I've said it on this channel before, that I think they intend to lower the burden for probable cause. Finally, Christians are seeing justice. And what does this woman say? And that's only if we get justice. My gosh, that we have to choose as Black people. No, you have to make a choice as a Christian. This was my episode earlier this week. Yesterday. Wednesday. Christians are the ones who have to make the decision. To be vocal about our faith could hurt our business. My channel is being throttled. When I was talking about Candace Owens content and Nick Fuentes content, I'm not saying that it was all hunky-dory and that there weren't issues and that there weren't problems, because there are. There are problems. But it was not being throttled, nowhere near as much as it is right now. The second I started talking about Zionism, the moment I did that, it got 10 times worse. And that is the reality of which that we live. Christians are forced to choose. And now you want to tell a bunch of Black people that the reason why that Don Lemon is getting arrested is because he has an audience? Are you serious? That the reason why that they have to be concerned about what could hurt their business is about their Blackness, not their Christianity? It's starting to make me think, why do we even allow women to have an opinion sometimes? Like, and I know that sounds ass backwards. I'm starting to sound like pearly things. And I don't mean to come down hard on women. I don't, because honestly, I don't think it's an all women issue. It's a definite liberal leftist female issue thing. They lack common sense. That made no sense to me. That math did not math. Now, I'm really glad to see that he got arrested. I'm really happy for that. As a Christian, I do believe that we deserve justice in this regard. And he didn't even storm into any church that I was attending. But I was pissed when I saw that. Super pissed. Now, hopefully Pam Bondi doesn't fumble this ball too and cost us the Super Bowl. Because, come on. She's been failing. I mean, I keep saying it. That woman is Elle Woods. Send her ass back to Florida. Judge Jeanine Pirro needs her job. Honestly, I think he's waiting for the midterms. And personally, that might be the only thing that he has left for me to even say I'm going to vote Republican, to ensure that she gets that position. If he said today that we want to get more Republicans in the Senate because we want to confirm Judge Jeanine Pirro as the next Attorney General to being the top cop, oh my gosh, you know how many people would go vote for Republicans just because he said that? Now, I don't know if we would trust it, but I believe he has such a good friendship with Jeanine that he'd make it happen. This is what she was put on this earth to do, to stop the bad guy. And she would sure as the heck tack on a hate crime. When those Jews got shot up in Washington, D.C., it wasn't just a murder, it wasn't just a double homicide, it was also a hate crime. And I think she would do the same thing here. Obviously, this guy, Don Lemon, isn't going to go to prison for the same amount of time as a person convicted of murder or even a double homicide. But as a hate crime, the prison sentence is long. I don't know what we can expect from this. I mean, I think we shouldn't get so excited. I think we need to be a little bit more, be cautious to some degree. Pam Bondi sucks at her job. So I don't even know if we can expect to see any kind of justice there. It was nice knowing and seeing it reported everywhere that he was getting arrested. That was, oh my gosh, that was such a great moment. It was a great moment. Honestly, it feels like how it felt when I saw Maduro getting arrested. That was such a great moment. But is this going to be the precursor here to something disappointing? And in Pam's case, to failure, to non-action, to no convictions. Honestly, I don't know if you guys are following what's happening in the district that Judge Jeanine Pirro was in. I follow that YouTube channel, and it feels like every Friday she's making announcements about not just arrests, but of trials and how many convictions she's gotten, how much assets she's been able to seize, whether it be drugs, guns, money, crypto. And not just from there in Washington, D.C., but from around the country and from other nations. I mean, what? This woman is not stopping. She's staffing her office and still getting it done, getting the job done. She was put on this earth to stop bad guys. Pam Bondi, She was best for civil court. She's not a criminal attorney, if you ask me. And if she is, send her ass back to Florida, where her most serious case was, a white, some old woman feeding her dead husband to an alligator, like in Lake Placid, and Betty White's the crook. That's what Pam Bondi needs to go back to doing. Because I need Don Lemon to face some serious jail time for this. I don't want any missteps. I want the prosecution to do everything they have to do, follow the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. You get everything out there, be as transparent as possible. I want to see a criminal trial. I don't want any settlements because he did it. This isn't one of those prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Well, we have before you went into the church. We have the moment you're in the church harassing either the pastor or a minister or a deacon and other people in the church, and then after you barged in and criminally trespassed and stormed the church. We have all the evidence. We have the smoking gun. It was premeditated. He thought about it. He didn't say, I'm just going to stand here and watch what happened and see and record and just, be a field reporter for my YouTube channel. No, he went in there and he participated in the criminal behavior. And this idea that he got arrested for speech and that he got arrested for having an audience, this is BS. It's bullshit. I want a hate crime tacked on to the charges, and I want him to go to prison. Full stop. No Juicy Smollett crap where he only goes to jail for a couple of days because of who he is. Tired of the elite class getting away with it. And of course, Arlen Hamilton, did she mention that? Hell no. Why would she? She's as gay as he is. And of course, in the comment section, what did these people say? They were in agreement with her. And they were so happy that she was saying something about it. It's like, lady, the only time talking about politics was relevant was when the government shut down. And you were teaching business owners how they can actually maneuver in that scenario and in that situation, because you don't know how long it'll last. This is the perfect time for businesses to set themselves up to start to receiving more income and building more awareness, brand awareness, because people are going to be watching stuff more. They're going to be at home more, scrolling more, looking for more opportunities more. And if you're a kind of a business, or you're a coach, or you're a financial coach, or you're a business coach, this is the perfect opportunity for you to make money. See, that was when it was making sense. But this idea of telling people who are watching you to be scared of building an audience and saying something against the government and doing what Don Lemon did, because that could hurt your business just like it did Don. Don't be a damn criminal and your business won't get hurt. That should have been the advice. Don't storm a church. I don't know how many people in that comment section were black. Obviously, you guys know on YouTube, for the most part, unless people's little profile icon is a picture of them, you can't really tell who's black, who's white, who's Spanish, who's not. But my gut says that majority of the people who were in agreement with her, I bet they were either radically liberal, progressive women, black women, or white liberal women. And I'm leaning more towards white liberal women, because black women, for the most part, yes, they're all Miss Independent, but they looking for government handouts. They're not really looking to build a business, at least not the majority of them. And even though Arlen does have this, I want to help black women build business mentality, it's like I was saying, she has great insights. This was a woman who was sleeping on the floor of airports and now is a multimillionaire, and she knows all these millionaires, and she's gotten investment capital from them, and she knows what it means to start as a solo business, and she has great insights for people. And I really thought, yeah, this is someone I could watch on YouTube. Like, I was watching her and I was watching Dan Coe. Like, you don't want to get over cluttered. You don't want to watch a whole bunch. You get so caught up in watching and thinking you're getting educated that you're procrastinating as opposed to building something. And so I do commend her for that, and I applaud her for what she's done and even what she's taught me. I am grateful for that. But now, don't recommend her channel to me, because how dare you? How dare you? Now, this episode isn't going to be as long as my episodes usually are, simply because, well, it's Friday. Tired. This, like I said, this episode was more me shooting from the hip. I'm still getting over my cold just a little bit, but I had to let that out. I needed to react not just to the news of Don Lemon getting arrested, but to what Terrible business advice this woman was giving people. If you are a Black person and you're watching this channel and you just watched this episode, don't listen to that crap. Don't even watch her anymore, personally. And I'm someone who says you don't have to always agree with someone to get some nuggets of wisdom and insight. Now, if it's that serious for you, if you don't really care, have at it, keep watching. But again, if you're Black, don't listen to that nonsense. That is not just because you built an audience, just because you're well known. It's not to say that you shouldn't be careful with the things that you say and the things that you do, and be sure about what you're saying. Be confident in what you're saying. And yes, you're allowed to change your opinion, but just don't be a criminal. Don't criminally trespass churches, and your business will be fine. Unless you're a Christian, of course, because that is the bigger threat here. Those are the businesses who are under siege here. Those are the ones struggling on social media. But again, this episode isn't going to be that long because I'm ready for my day to be over. But I had to let that out. Now on to announcements. As you guys know, building out my streaming platform. It will be coming out in February, not in just a few days, but yes, next month. You guys know that I've been putting together these series, and I showed you guys a little example of what my capabilities are when it comes to AI and generating AI video. And so I'm really excited to release the America First AI streaming platform for all of you. And I can't wait for you guys to just sign up. And just a heads up, there are no free trials. Like these tools to make this content for you, it does cost money. And as I said, I will be running ads on that stuff. And I would really love your support. So in a few weeks, definitely before the end of the month of February, this platform is coming out. And there is something that I wanted to talk with all of you about before I actually sign off. I'm thinking about launching my own community of sorts, not on the school platform, as in Sam, K as in kite, O, L as in Larry. I'm not talking about that. I've built out my own. I haven't decided if I'm going to launch it or not, but I really wanted to know, what do you guys think? It's pretty much like a paid community hub, right? Where yes, there'd be a social media feed, but we can actually build together as Christian nationalists of America and come together, build together, share insights with one another, provide resources for one another. I feel like we need a community like that. And Nick Fuentes is taking too long. I don't think he's got his eye on the ball. I am excited to see what Zach Costello creates. But this is a platform that is supposed to pull us together and start building, because the biggest thing that I said in my last episode is that Christians need to start building and owning and growing wealth. And perhaps this community can be a way to foster those ideas and to share, business insights and things of that nature. So we don't have to rely on people like Arlen Hamilton, and we can just kind of throw nuggets of wisdom in this platform. But it's not coming out. I just want to know what you guys think about that. Put it in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. But that is my time. God bless you all. And until next time.
America First AI, come on, take my